I had to start my video in the garden because you can't step in here very easily anymore. What I'm doing right now with one hand is trying to cut a pumpkin vine back because it has invaded the corn, and the corn has been through quite enough with the storm we had the other night. The last video I started out by saying that I thought all the storms were going to miss us. Well, that night we had like 5 inches of rain, and then the other night, about 3 nights ago, we had a storm that came through with about 2 inches of rain in 20 minutes, extensive flooding, extensive tree damage from high winds. People still can't go back to their houses, and this garden got pushed over. You can't see it so much now. The corn is straightening itself out, but it was laying east to west. And the funny thing is that my neighbors tell me that the storm was traveling northwest to southeast. So it must have been one whale of a storm to be able to do something like that. Anyway, here is Big Moon 1, which is, I'm thinking, between 25 and 30 pounds now. There we go. Pretty massive. So hopefully we will have a giant pumpkin at the end of the season. And over here we have Big Moon 2, which is about a week behind Big Moon 1. Not as pretty of a shape, a little more elongated, but I think it'll be a nice pumpkin. We have a huge, well, not huge, but big cargo. Let's see if I can get over there. Oh, there's a little cargo right there. Isn't that cute? Let's get my big foot in here, and then we'll look for the big cargo. Yeah, there's the big cargo right there. That's only about 10 pounds. Like I said, cargo and me have issues. And we have a bunch of weeds coming up, so I'll get rid of all that. I have a whole big section of the garden here where no pumpkins formed, which is kind of irritating. It's right in the middle. Pumpkins are all towards the edges. This is the area that's doing nothing. Unless we have a situation where at the end of the season all the leaves will die back and I'm going to find a bunch of pumpkins that I didn't know anything about. But we do have 4 or 5 racers, at least two cargos, and no place to walk. Let's see here. Sorry if this is a rocky ride. Dude, let's see here. Okay. I think that's a Red Warty Thing. The Red Warty Things are getting the worst end of the deal here. I think they're getting choked out. None of the fruit looks really big or healthy. They have, I think, 2 fruits on them, and they're just not doing very well. Here is a nice sized Racer Plus. And let's do a careful little step out of the garden here. I'm going to have to do some major vine pruning today. Tomato, that is a Paul Robeson. I think it's starting to turn red, which is good because these tomato plants, I've given up trying to tie them up. They do have a little bit of fungus problem at the bottom there, you can see. They're going all over the place. They're not producing much that's new, and like I said, they're sitting there hard as baseballs and not ripening, but it looks like they're starting to ripen now. Excuse me. Over there, Sweet 100. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Sweet 100 is producing hundreds and hundreds of little tiny tomatoes. I've already had a few. They're good for salads. They're very, very tiny. I don't know that I'd ever get that again, but it was free, so you can't argue. It's supposed to rain again tonight. We'll see how that affects this garden. Okay. Here we go. We have a huge, really, really big, the biggest racer I've ever seen. Honestly, even bigger than that 27 pounder, 28 pounder I got several years ago. Sorry about all the wiggliness. I'm going to try to get in the garden through the deer fencing here, and that's tricky. Okay. There's that big Racer Plus. That's every bit as big as the first Big Moon. That is at least 20 pounds, maybe 25. And there was another one in here, but I cannot see it. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Let me get my other leg in here. Okay. Here is the other one. This one's only about, 5-10 pounds. Oh, maybe 10 pounds. It's right by my hand there. So, racers are doing the best, which I expected, because they always do. Cargo, doing okay. Big Moon's doing okay, but I'm only going to get 2 pumpkins out of 3 vines, which is disappointing. But at this point, excuse all the wobbliness, at this point I'm not counting on anything else from the Big Moons. It's been weeks since I've even seen a baby pumpkin. I think all the excessive rain is having an effect. Here's another racer forming down in the corner here. Hopefully that'll take. Is that a male flower? Yeah, right there. Yeah. That'd be a good place for a pumpkin right there. So, this is all storm damage right here, you see, where there are no leaves. This whole garden was blown completely down. And that's when I realized that there are no pumpkins in this center section. They're all on the ends. Right there, some damage. So, not a real thrilling week in the garden, but I thought I'd bring you up to date, and I'll see you next time. Little add-on here. I did eat a cucumber this past week. It was a big one, like you see in the supermarket. It came off this side here. These plants are having trouble, and I think it's because of all the rain. I did put some Epsom salts on them and some regular fertilizer, but they're very pale, and right now there's no flowers at all, or very few flowers. So they are hurrying up and producing cucumbers. These are about ready. Maybe tomorrow they'll be ready. They're all getting tails on them too. I'm going to have to look up why that's happening. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, just a cucumber update for you. See you next time.